My name is Jane Hogue, and I'm a member of the board here at QUUF. Welcome into this day with Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, a liberal religious congregation founded in 1976 and bound together to serve religious freedom, caring community, and social justice. As we gather, I acknowledge that the land, water, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the Skaalum and Chemakum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our Indigenous members and neighbors and vow to help restore and sustain these homelands. If you're visiting today, I offer a special welcome and invite you to join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall after the service. We have a newcomers table near the patio doors where our greeters are ready to answer any questions you may have. So may the welcome we offer you be in equal measure to the one in our hearts. We pause briefly to do some essential business within the congregation. Today after the service, we will show the second video in the series called Responding to the Anti-Trans Movement. Please come even if you missed the first video. Grab a beverage and return to the sanctuary for this 35-minute must-see video. Learn what to say in a conversation with someone who displays anti-trans and non-binary prejudice. Now, let us come into this moment. Let us be present with open minds and warm hearts.
We're having Lynn come and help us light the chalice with these words. The source for today's opening words is unknown, but the Spirit within us speaks to and for us. Welcome to this room. In this room, we do second chances. We do grace. We do I mess ups. We do I'm sorry. We do loud. We do quiet. We do kind words. We do smiles. Everyone smile. We do friends. We do love. Welcome to this room. Thank you.
Good morning, all. My name is Don Rollins. I serve the congregation as interim minister, he, him pronouns, and we're so glad to see you today, especially if you're visiting with us. We're glad that you're here. So we have not lots of kids, but we have some. So I'm going to take a minute. Some of you may know it's a fairly old folk song written in Spanish originally. Somos El Barco, we are the boat. For those of us who are not Spanish speakers, good, some more young folk, are not Spanish speakers, we have to pretty much mangle Spanish, so put that aside, those of you who are. That's what's going to happen here. But the song's worth it. Would you rise as you're able and willing? If you already know it, help me on the chorus, but we want to be able to teach it. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We go a little higher now. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. Here we go. Well, the stream sings it to the river, and then the river sings it to the sea, and the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. The boat we are sailing. You know, the boat that we are sailing on was built by many hands, and the sea that we are sailing on touches many sands. Somos el barco, somos el mar, tú navegas en mí, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, and you sail in me. So with our hopes we set the sails and face the winds once more, and with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, and we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. I sail in you, you sail in me. Well done. Thank you. Please be seated. As I'm about to prove, the storyteller in my house would be Mary Bracy, who is sitting to my left, your right. I rarely do original stories. I'm just the writer, but not so much the two together. Today we're going to walk on the wild side because we're going to talk about the time that the bat got loose in church. So anybody who wants to hear a story, come on up. I see the graphic is, okay.
That's my kind of bat.
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Yeah. Hey, everybody. You may remember my name is Don. I get to be your minister. And since we're talking about ministers, and who isn't, we're going to go ahead and talk about the time that a bat got loose in church. Can you see what's behind me right now? Right one, thank you, Christina. I can't say for sure every bat is that color, and I'm pretty sure not everyone smiles like that, but you get the idea. That's a bat. The reason I'm telling you that is when I was like, maybe 12 or 13, I knew everything. Just ask me, I was quite sure about everything. I was the source of all knowledge, y'all. So, I had seen lots of things, I thought, but I hadn't seen a bat get loose in church while church was going on. That was new. And here's what happened. So it's a regular Sunday evening service. Things are going pretty much as they should. And all of a sudden, I see fear. People are just scared. I can't figure out what's up. And they're looking up, and sure enough, there's a bat circling the sanctuary. So the first response was shock. And then I saw paper wads in the air. And then I saw a paper airplane in the air. And I was so proud of my congregation right now because we were not trying to hurt the bat. We just wanted the bat to kind of find some place to be so we can kind of help the bat where the bat really lives, well, outside. So that's all we were trying to do. And I was so proud nobody wanted to hurt that bat. Nobody threw hymn books at that bat. Sweet. So this goes on, and people are not quite sure what to do. And the pianist kind of stopped now, and she's looking up too. And then somebody says, just keep singing. And I'm not sure what that means. And then I realized later, this is what that church does. When they're in trouble or they're hurting, they sing. They were scared. Let's sing. So here was Amazing Grace, which is an old song that happened right there. Now, this is a true story so far. It's going to stay that way, because what happens next is nobody can get the bat to settle down. Folks are still scared. They're trying to sing. And my minister, my preacher, looks at all of us, and he comes up with a paper airplane. And the paper airplane somehow computed to the bat because the bat stopped circling and kind of lighted on, not a pew, but pretty close. Everybody cleared out from the back, of course. But the bat was okay. And somebody was kind enough to be able to get a jacket and be gentle and take the bat out. This is a true story again. So it takes the bat outside, and all is well. And somebody said, thank you, Jesus. It was sweet. Here's why I'm telling you about the bat that got loose in church. We were all sitting out there throwing paper wads, hoping a bat might lock onto one of them and settle down. And the preacher was watching us go through all this and finally said, there's got to be a better way. Throws the airplane up, and I swear to God, that cut everything down so the bat began to settle down, and that was that. We could still be throwing paper wads if we were in that church by ourselves, but we hadn't thought about it. It doesn't mean the preacher was always right, y'all. Please stay with this. But somebody had an idea, and that happened because we were together. The church, me, our minister, our preacher, we were together. And look what happened. So I say to you this morning, I'm going to talk to the adults whenever you go away. I'm going to talk to them about kind of how we're doing as a church together. But if we can do as well as that night in that old church where we work together and do something good for somebody else, that's what we're shooting for. So thanks for listening. Have a really good class.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We pause for a time of generosity to receive an offering to support our congregation and the difference we make in the world. The ushers will receive the offering, and additional ways for supporting our congregation will be projected on the wall behind me.
makes a bridge from heart to heart and hand to hand. Love finds a way when laws are blind and freedom banned. Love breaks the walls of language, gender, class, and age. Love gives us wings to slip the bars of every cage. Love lifts the hopes that force and fear have beaten down. Love breaks the chains and gives us strength to stand our ground.
This is that time of the service where we slow down to be able to talk about things that are happening in our lives, in our world, things that go deep, things that affect all of us because they affect some of us. So we pause, as always, to put the first stone for something that reaches outside the congregation in that spirit, the spirit of today. This past Friday marked the 78th anniversary of the Nakba, the partitioning of Palestine, triggering a mass displacement of native peoples. Our hearts are heavy all these years later. Within the congregation, we're glad to know that Scotty is now at home in Georgia. All is going well. Rosanna says, thanks very much for all the well wishes and the prayers. And folks, we come into these doors and in this room with a fair number of joys and sorrows, maybe a few, maybe a lot. So this final stone is always, for all that stuff that is going on within us, it will be unspoken, but it is not unsupported. We're here for you as you go through whatever it is you're going through. Thanks, Scotty. I have come to believe that the ministry that called me all those years ago is about selling good ideas to folks. Some may be interested, some kind of, some not at all. But when it gets down to it, like the preacher, it's about the ideas, trying something, not being afraid to fail together, and then finding something else to try. That, I think, is what my mentors in ministry were trying to tell me. So the charge was, go be kind of like the old school encyclopedia sellers of yore. Find some information that will stir folks' minds. Say something that will get them from this Sunday till next Sunday. Even take a shot at helping them get a warm soul before they leave here. Give it a try. See what you think. Friends, when congregations and ministers, interministers are on the same wavelength, it is magic. It is amazing. Change is fairly easy. Things are good. We love on each other in easy proportions. And when it's not, which happens, well, Christina has a video about that very thing. Well, welcome to my life, at least on some days, not all days by any means. It does happen. So, if we can do the responsive reading, Christina. Folks, there are midnight prayers that ministers offer, and sometimes it's like this morning, 3 a.m. But nonetheless, you begin to understand that there are rhythms to a congregation, and the trick is to be able to match rhythms with the congregation. A fluid process, but nonetheless the goal. So I have written something for us that we might read together to kind of highlight this work that we do. If you would take the italics. Source of change, free us all from the illusion of permanence.
Remind us life's magic lies in letting go, in taking chances, and facing down old fears before it's too late.
Source of risk, give us the courage to find out what's on the other side of that door we've been afraid to pry open.
Remind us these souls of ours are on loan from life itself, and we should return them on empty.
The source of kindness, show us how to be better today than yesterday. Softer, more curious, less certain.
Remind us we are one and all survivors, wounded on the journey, yet each on our way to that bright, shining place where we whisper, I am here, I am here.
So be that. Alrighty, we're going to take a journey together here with a lot of moving parts. So as I mentioned to Scotty before the service, it's about presence, not perfection. This is one of those Sundays where we talk about how we're doing, folks. What's going on, what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, and hearing back from you, my listening to you along the way. So, Mary, given that I want to be able to see, thank you so much. You're setting me up as we speak. I'll be quiet now.
Where do you want this?
Yeah, I got to be facing up though. Good with the camera, Christina? Still okay? Good deal. We'll get back to that. You're right. To start with. Look here. Most days I figure straight up, I am the luckiest interim minister in our entire Unitarian Universalist Association. No building projects, no wacky board president, no rogue music director, no behind-the-times religious educator. Better yet, no yearly dedication of the animals. I'm scarred, I'm still traumatized because I gave that up 20 years ago, and here's why. A goat began the service by making a certain deposit on the new sanctuary rug. It got worse. Somebody decided to burn some sage as a way to clear the air. At that point, I wanted to join the goat outside because I had goldfish to bless. Now, friends, that's a true story. And I have not done animal blessing since. Back to me. I'm lucky because I get to serve with folks who pretty much appreciate ministers, who like ministers, who understand ministry as a different cat, as unique, that we do stuff during this time that you may never do again. That this is a crunched, not artificial, let's see what happens kind of ministry. And I get to work with folks who, for the most part, do church in current terms, which is, again, what you pay me for. I am chronically tired. I will be 70 in a few weeks. Mary will confirm that I still whine on a regular basis. 20 hours per week of meeting time will do that to you, and there's always a brush fire or two burning in this congregation. And yes, I do get a fair amount of unsolicited advice about how I ought to be doing my work. And then I remember I am not everybody's cup of tea, and that's so. But did I mention that there are no staff issues or building projects or goats? And add to that the sheer joy, and here it is, y'all, the sheer joy of being with people who know how to laugh, because we are passing through. All in all, I have a good gig. As some of you may know by now, it is standard practice for interim ministry to do check-in services every so often. We push the pause button to talk about what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. So what we're about in the next 20-ish minutes comes in 3 parts. First, a little more about why interim ministers are interim ministers, how we approach our work, and what we bring to the table. Part 2, with Christina's kind support, I want to briefly walk you through some key documents that guide QUUF's functioning. Stuff that might be a first pass for some of you, but trust me, it matters. And then part 3, I want to make my usual case for the first-time visitor. In his 1920 book, Wandering, Solitude, and the Creative Life, German-Swiss author Hermann Hesse reflects on 2 ways of being in this world, talks about the nomad and the farmer. One is never at home, while the other always is at home. So from Wandering, slightly adapted for our use, here comes Hermann Hesse. I am a nomad, not a farmer. I am adorer of the unfaithful, the changing, the fantastic. And good luck to the farmer. Good luck to the one who owns this place, the one who works this place, the faithful, the virtuous. I can love him, I can revere him, I can envy him, but I have wasted half of my life trying to live his life. I wanted to be something I was not. Even wanted to be a poet and a middle-class person at the same time. I wanted to be an artist and a person of fantasy, but I also wanted to be a good man, a man at home. So I went looking for a long time till I know that we cannot be both and have both, and that I am a nomad and not a farmer, one who searches, not one who keeps. I am halfway through an extremely intense interim nomad mystery training down in Federal Way, Washington, by the way. I'm in a room full of clergy, a lot of preachers in one place. The Lutherans, the Episcopalians, Presbyterians, the Methodists, ministers serving our friends in the United Church of Christ, and 3 other Unitarian Universalists. I didn't know what to expect, but this is what I got. No fooling around here. We're talking about an art and a craft. We're talking about helping people in times of trouble, joining them when they're not, being somebody's minister. We're being equipped for life as nomads, not farmers. We'll need thick skin, sometimes very thick skin. Be friendly, but not friends. Be pastoral, but not pastors. Be open, but laser focused on what we know will advance the congregation's reason for being. That's why they pay us. We're to be consultants that preach, not preachers that consult. We will value relationships and feelings, but our charge is minister to the institutional needs and longings. Underscore need for bylaws and policies and procedures and governance and structure, mission and vision and covenants. Welcome to my week, by the way. Mind that stuff, because here's why. Chaos and conflict love poor boundaries. So work on the stuff that says, I love you, and here's how I'm going to do it, and here's what's going to happen when I don't. Work on that stuff so the next colleague can practice their craft, their way. And then go be a nomad, but expect times when we'll be given more responsibility than authority. More responsibility than authority. Not everyone will value the expertise. Deal. This is the life of the UU nomad. I want to get some water. Fortunately, the facilitators eventually exited boot camp mode and told us about their nomad stories. The magic that they have experienced when times were great. The sense, I'm down here for a reason, y'all. The sense of leaving behind a stronger congregation than the one we found. Sorry, Christina. Helping the congregation be stronger than the one that I found. That is the goal, I think. So, deal with that stuff. I'm out of hands. So that's an intense training. That is a very intense training. I'll be right with you because we decided to come out of there. You're on alert right now, Mary? Beauty. Okay. Folks, not every training over the years has been that intense, but that was early on. And I don't know, these folks were trying to scare us, but they did a pretty good job of doing it. And then it occurred to me that what I was being trained for is something noble and has a long history, that over many, many years, congregations and interim ministers have found each other. And they have practiced this art that we call interim ministry. So we are in direct line with all those other congregations and ministers who are bridging the past and the future together. That's what we're doing. Remember, I have a good Nomads gig. So part 2 is all about the slides. What we're going to do next is take, and I mean a whirlwind tour through some of the key documents here at QUUF. If you sleep, it's okay, but I will come wake you, just know that. Because what you're about to see is these are the skeletons for how to be together, how to process things, what happens when trouble comes, what happens when joy is abundant. All those things are what go in here. So I will give you some go through there. And then I will also borrow some thunder here because on June 14, by the way, that's President Trump's birthday, on June 14th, we will be in the same space talking about similar but not the same stuff. Let's get going, Christina. Congregational polity. Although not referenced directly in your documents, this form of governance places ultimate authority with the congregation, primarily through the selection of board members, approval of budgets, and voting to call, if it's called ministry, or dismiss a called minister. Those are key powers that belong only to the congregation. This way of doing stuff has a very long history and has been our governance model since the earliest days of the Universalists and the Unitarians. Contract ministers are hired by the board, by the way. Just want to be clear about that, the difference between called and contract or other hired ministers. Slide 2. So I'm going to ask you to read with me. You can skip the part that actually says our vision adopted. We'll skip that part and go right to the actual content. Read it with me, starting with the word these. No, get on to that. Starting with the word a. A courageously inclusive, multi-generational, spiritual community in a joyfully interconnected world. If you have trouble with that, then you don't like small puppies. Because this is good stuff. This is like it goes right to the heart. So let that sink in. Let's talk mission now. We join hearts and minds to learn, to serve, to nurture justice, holding at the center of it all in what we do. And your covenant. We are travelers. We meet for a moment in this sacred place to love, to share, to serve. Let us use compassion, curiosity, reverence, and respect while seeking our truths.
In this way, we will support a just and joyful community, and this moment shall endure.
May that be so. Let's move on to our 6 shared values. The common statement of belief, the 7 principles approved in 1985, were replaced by the 6 shared values in 2024. Our association gathers yearly to do the business of the people, and over 2/3 of the delegates gathered there voted for the change. And a side note, the actual process, by the way, has to happen every 15 years according to the association's bylaws. So here you see the values as approved. with love as the grounding force, interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, equity. To see a fuller version, here's my ad, to see a fuller version, it's posted at QUUF.org and UUA.org. Let's talk shared governance. So right now, if you just had a mind blow, it's okay. There's a lot going on here. We're not going to cover all of that, I promise. But here's what we are going to do. Governance can be a hard sell with our congregations, and QUUF is no exception, because it's so amorphous until it's not. And so folks quite often don't dig in. First off, governance is a tool. It's a tool to focus a congregation's time and skills and experience, money, staff, their buildings. This is a way to get focused, and the goal is to provide direction and guardrails for how a congregation wants to function. Second purpose is to clarify responsibility and authority for how the resources are actually applied. The board is primarily charged with taking care of the congregation's future. That's on the committee side, as you see. The minister is charged with managing the entire day-to-day, almost entirely, and that's on the team side. So there you see the split between board responsibilities, future-oriented, and then we get the board then delegates to the minister the authority and responsibility for what goes on the team side. This is the model. So in the model, and there is room for questioning, by the way, of the model itself, but that's a years-long process. The congregation is charged with enabling and nourishing all fellowship activities, teams, councils, committees, electing the board, approving key documents. When board, minister, plural, and congregation are in sync, life is good. And if not, things can get convoluted. Members aren't clear about who makes what decisions. It's fixable, but it can be draining to figure that stuff out. So look here. This is a very short take on policy governance. That's a model developed for nonprofits originally, by the way. It has been adapted for faith communities. We call it shared ministry now. And we should note that our association and many larger congregations have pointed to shared ministry's hierarchical structure, its whiteness-based assumptions. So we're in process with that model. There are some in play. There are some that are more grounded in anti-oppression practices. Still with me? Yeah, kind of. All right, let's move on to slide 5, talk about decision making. Because of the model, somebody has to make some calls. And again, there is a triad there between congregation and board and minister. Shared ministry charges your responsibilities, your minister's responsibilities for almost all QUF's teams, plus staff. That's a doable situation, but I'm going to tell you straight up, the current member-to-minister ratio is draining. Sidebar, this is a burnout position. So I lift that not as a scold, but a report back to you that now that I know what it's like, been with you for 9 months now, I know the expectations that are part of what you do, and it is burdensome. So that is where it is in terms of the ratio right now. Ministers have responsibility for staff supervision, for selecting program council chairs, recommends policies, changes to the board, and all things related to worship. The latter, please note, the latter is part of the standard UU letter of agreement. So note that worship is your most public face, and so we are charged to be active in that area. Let's look at slide 6. Again, I am going to just highlight some stuff you can read as well as I can. I would note along with this, ours is a covenanting tradition. It's what we do. Dating back to the Hebrew traditions, we have learned that if you make promise to each other, we have those guardrails and those arms to hold us whenever things get tough. So covenanting is very much what we do. It is not a contract. It's not that you do X, I'll do Y. Covenant says, I'm in. Let's figure it out. A very different way of being together. Time as such, I'm only going to mention the 4 signposts that are part of your right relations covenant. But again, I urge you to find it on the QUF website. Here's your directions. Click on About QUUF. That would be the second tab from the left. You'll see Right Relations Covenant at the bottom. Go check it out. Again, go to the tab, look at Mission and Vision, and you'll see Relations down at the bottom. There's 4 signposts, again, my term only. Compassion, curiosity, reverence, and respect. Give them place in your heart, friends. Give them place in your congregation. They're the standard for how to be together. Let's look at healthy use of email. For the last, again, maybe since the GOAT days, I've been working with congregations about how to handle email and when it's time to put down the device and get on the phone, and when it's put down the phone and go talk together, talk on Zoom, whatever it is, to be able to say, this is tricky stuff. We need to find a good container for it. I have met a congregation in the email age that didn't struggle with using email in appropriate ways. Your congregation, Be right with you. We did a reset. Slide 2. Okay. You have lived this, those of you who were here as part of a schism, and by the way, for those of you not aware, it was a deep discussion and got out of hand around the authority of things like principles and our values having to do with decentering whiteness, and certainly it was generational. So you all lived through that, and it was made privy to some of the conversations during that time. So you have lived through some hard places, have learned that email is a limited tool. Your guidelines for healthy use are clear. They are useful. There's more. As with the covenant of right relations, the email policy is a guardrail for when things get heated. There are times when phones, Zoom, old school in-persons are the only helpful options. Note, one such guideline from another church added this. If you you start to write an angry email and you're about to send it, think about publishing it in the next newsletter. See how that feels, and then decide whether you push the button or not. That's pretty graphic, folks, but you get the idea. Well, look it. Here's what I'd say about all this heady stuff, folks. If you're looking for a reason to pay attention to all the stuff I just mentioned, then look right here. By my lights, the mission of our long tradition is to change lives. We're in the life-changing business, and we need to be organized to maximize our resources to that end. If you're looking for why we do what we do, remember this slide right here. We are helping folks find their way in life. We are privileged to help folks find their way through life. So there you are. That's pretty much the end of it. Whoa! Christina, what? That was our version of funny right there. Well, you can't win them all, y'all. I mean, take chances. Here you go. I want you to agree with me on something, and that is that Quimper is a strong outpost for liberal religion in general, Unitarian Universalism in particular. This is not a place to be taken lightly. This is not a place where we play church. We haven't time. So, you are solid. You are solid once again. And when the time comes to move into the next modes of professional ministry, you will no doubt attract a pool of interested ministers. Whether you're looking for nomads or farmers, you're just that solid. Embrace that. Know it. It doesn't always feel that way, but if you're out here on the nomad trail, you're solid. Second, and I'm starting to get into serious trouble on this one, the one consistent factor across lively congregations, UU and otherwise, is the willingness to focus on the first-time visitor, to begin to empty our institutional egos and understand that Sunday is never just about us. It is always making space. It is always giving welcome. It is always asking the question, what more can we do for that person who is checking us out for the first time? And here I go again, because somebody has interrupted their usual schedule. We're talking Sunday morning, of course. There are other opportunities. Somebody has interrupted their Sunday schedule to come be with us. They could be lots of other places in that moment, but they're with us. They're right here in this, our living room. Your minister's workshop for worship, but this is the living room. This is where folks come to decide, are these my people? We don't control that, but what we do control is a good introduction. Every service in which we're talking about religious freedom and caring community and justice, we control that daily introduction, Sunday introduction into what we do. Is it maybe you find your story in our story? We make a good introduction. They're our company. They're our guests. Let me dig that hole a little deeper. I never designed worship with just us in mind. Never. Within the limitations of worship as it is, and that's a topic for another day, I want to know what that part of the service might look and feel like to the one who entered this room looking for something. Even if they can't articulate the something, they're looking for something. And what if, friends, what if you and I are that something? What's that worth? That's worth a lot. So my first interim ministry mentor told me worship should never be for just us because we done found it. We found it. So plan on visitors. Make head and heart space for visitors. Maybe somebody's relation just blew up and they're with us now. Maybe somebody got a diagnosis, or they lost their job, or fell off the wagon last night, and here they are with us. So structure your service. This is a counsel I got early. Structure your service. Here we go. Your announcements, your joys and sorrows, your music, your readings, your preaching, your whatever. Ground those things in spiritual depth. Help folks experience something they would not get anywhere else. And remember that you are part of a timeless tradition of hospitality coming from the Muslim and Hebrew traditions that says, be hospitable to strangers. So, let's see. Ask the able-bodied regulars to sit closer in the middle so visitors don't have to scrunch between seats. Where did that get in, Christina? I ask again. My mentor didn't tell me that. I sneaked it in. But folks, please think about that. Think about your visitors. Okay, enough preaching on that. So here's the bottom line that I hold out to your entire congregation. Don't let it be just about us. We worry about attracting young people. Don't make it about us. Worried about money. Don't make it about us. Don't make it about us. And please don't hear me saying we don't need this place, because surely you do. You have hard times, so do I. These bodies fail. These minds can do what they do. Time will have its way for many of us. We need this place. You need this place. But we don't own this place. And what if we extended that awareness to every aspect of what you and I do around here? Finance, governance, buildings, grounds, religious education, adult learning, justice work, pastoral care, staffing. You get the idea. What if we asked going into every meeting, what good can we do for those who are not here yet? What would happen if we made that shift in our thinking? Made first-timers the baseline for what we do. I could, of course, flap on about all this, and there's other stuff too. I haven't expressed my concern at your age cohort, which also gets me in trouble sometimes. I have not told you how proud I am as I watch you work through the rehab stage of a deeply spiritual schism. I haven't always said how much I enjoy being with people who have good practices, who know it's 2026. What a gift. But friends, getting back to the nomad thing, Mary and I are glad we decided to take one more trip before life and age forces me into raging farmer mode. It will happen because it is happening. But look here, I got one last gig. It is goat-free, and I am so grateful. Thanks for hanging in, friends. That's a lot of stuff to digest. Okay, and we're doing this again because a couple of you got the happy feet last time we did this and danced in the aisle. So I'm not telling you to do it, but we ain't against it. So.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, people, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, people, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Let's do that again.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Please join us in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish our flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, before we hear the Prelude, Postlude, here's why I did this. We have gone through a lot of heady stuff. As we go back into that world, or maybe just a coffee hour, let's relax a little bit, breathe a little bit, to decompress here for all the heady stuff, and just be present. George Winston is no longer with us. He was a fine meditation kind of musician, and there's some slides to go with it. So let's share that before we leave.